Hey. Well, welcome to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. And tonight is Thursday night Roundtable Talk. And we do the Roundtable Talk every first Thursday of each month. And it's just a little different show that is more local, more intense, discussing about local politics, local events, local neighborhood watch. I mean, it was so much different from the Knowledge is Power show. Hi there, Facebook user. Say hello, everybody. Hey, let me tell you a little bit about Knowledge is Power podcast live. We are if I can find my script, let me go down my deal and find my script and I'll tell you. All right, here we go. Knowledge is Power podcast live is a platform to share information, important information, by educating the Southeast Texas American African American communities with valuable information on health, education, financial, politics, business. But tonight is the Thursday night Roundtable Talk with Chris Jones,
Good
the
evening,
host.
everybody. Good
And
evening.
I'm gonna step to the side and let you guys take over.
All right, Tony, move that block out of
I'm
the
gonna
way.
block. I mean, you want me to move the block out the way? Oh, okay. It must be some
Yeah,
heavy
you can
talk
leave it.
tonight. Wait
Yeah,
a
yeah,
minute.
yeah.
There must be some heavy talk tonight. There's gonna be some heavy talk tonight. I'm gonna hang
Absolutely.
around for the next 5 minutes, see what y'all talking about. But I'm gonna sandblast on the way from here, and you guys got have y'all Thursday night roundtable talk show.
Absolutely.
Perry Busby will be joining
Yes,
you
he will.
guys later on in the podcast. So uh, take it away.
Oh, wow. So, welcome back, everybody. Again, as Tony mentioned, this is the Roundtable Talk every first Thursday. Myself, Trisha, uh, Perry Busby, again, Tony Renfro, we all come and we discuss several different things. And this first Thursday, being that it's crunch time for elections here in the city of Beaumont and BISD, because I definitely want to point out this joint election. So that's what we'll be talking about today is local politics, um, local candidates, and um, the local election. So without further ado, like I said, welcome to the Roundtable Talk. First topic of the night is politics, local politics. So, um, we see how national politics or political games are played, right? And there's most of the times there's mudslinging and fact checking and this, that, and the other. And so, like tonight, we definitely wanted to um, have some discussions and set the record straight, not only from our point of view, but from facts. Um, First things first, Trisha, what on many of the candidates' campaign trail have you noticed to be, a little fishy? You know,
Well,
it's a round
honestly, I
table, so
haven't
it's no
been
hold bar.
as active as I wanted to be. I had a lot of things going on, but fishy. I don't know. Um, well, let's see. I did notice that Randy used the church. He's using One City United as his campaign. That's the only commercial I've seen from him. Anything I've seen from him the entire time. Um, at the moment, I'm at a loss.
I have
Oh
anyone
I can
wow.
think of something.
okay. Well, I'm gonna burn the bridge down. Have anyone fact check Wes for mayor in his commercials, in his spots? Has anyone
I saw a
fact
piece
check?
of his
All right,
commercial,
now
but
tell me,
I haven't fact checked any of it.
none of it is true. All of it is fake talk, fake news,
Well,
fake
What is
well,
he
I
propaganda.
saying?
would,
What
I
What are
wouldn't,
you
I wouldn't
saying
say,
exactly?
I wouldn't say it's completely false.
Okay,
Okay, so the way he's putting it, uh, brings false narratives, right?
right,
So, um, you have the $30,000 trip to Las Vegas. Let's just throw that out there.
not
So
true,
you have the $30,000 trip to Las Vegas.
not
That
true,
is not a trip
true.
to
Fake
Las
news.
Vegas that costs $30,000.
No,
That is open record information, might I add, and it's $30,000 accumulative of travel um, in her tenure.
What are we talking? Can
So
you can you catch me up? What are we talking about?
yeah, so a few days ago, there was out in the media where the West campaign, or even social media, the West campaign put out, or somebody put out, that Mayor Mouton wasted citizens' taxpayer dollars on a $30,000 trip to Las Vegas.
Wow,
So,
that's quite the claim.
um, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did he
So,
have anything to back it up?
well, he referred to open records, right? And open records, I mean, will give you the facts. And the facts are there was no $30,000 trip to Las Vegas. Um, but accumulative in her travel. And when I say accumulative, that's all trips to all types of mayoral type of events. Mayors, national mayors events, African American mayors events. Um, Again, council member events.
Right.
Um,
They went to Austin recently for legislature stuff, right?
Correct,
That kind of thing. I
correct.
gotcha.
So, and me personally, I'm like, who pays $30,000 to go to Vegas anyway?
That's cheap. I think
Um,
that would be a cheap visit.
you
Gamble while you're
stupid.
there. I don't know. I've never been.
No, but like, I mean, and that's just travel. That's nothing room board, you know, travel. So
30's expensive.
yeah, so that's what it boiled down to. Is the $30,000 accumulative um, use of travel that's allocated to the budget for the mayor in travel, and every other council person that has a convention or a trip or something of that nature that they feel the need to attend to bring some resources or information back to the city. That's what they they do.
That's an
So
acceptable thing to do. That's what they should be doing.
correct. And so another thing is the firefighters union. I'm not going to say the firefighters. The firefighters union also put out there about Mayor Mouton's indecisiveness um, about their emergency needs, especially when it
Now,
comes
this I have
to,
heard some about.
huh?
This
You
I
say
have
this one,
heard
you?
some things about. I mean, I haven't done any serious fact checking, but I've heard.
Yeah. So the blackouts is what they're actually called, and that's where the city of Beaumont EMS is not able to respond to um, an emergency call. And it's not that the city doesn't have emergency response available. It's just that they're at that particular time they were on several other calls, right?
Right.
So when that happens, our, I guess, sub EMS, which is Acadian, comes out. They receive the call. They pick up. They transport. And especially, like I said, in the case where the city of Beaumont EMS isn't available. Now, mind you, this isn't a new issue. Um, as a previous candidate, this is something that has been, you know, a problem even under Mayor Ames's term. As with the city manager Kyle Hayes, um, and it was a moment where there was no response from a backup or city EMS. Even to There were even moments of, you know, emergency responses where, um, and Perry's about to jump in also, so I'm excited that he's about to jump in. But there were moments where, even back then, that there were shortfalls in emergency response time and emergency responses period when it came to the city of Beaumont EMS and fire department. Um, so I will say the response time currently has drastically changed according to our eyes. I'm aware that there is some internal bickering, if I could, about the leadership in the fire department as well as the leadership in the police department. But for them to come out and say what they have said about Mayor Mouton, as if this is something that she, you know, something she allowed, or something that that they didn't know was going on already, even before they implemented or put in their budget increase and all of their negotiations that we just recently accepted, might I add. So I don't understand how, I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
I,
I don't
well, I,
understand
I,
that.
I know that there has been talk that there's problems with the EMS and the fire department. I know that there's lawsuits or maybe a lawsuit, either way. But I don't think that the majority of people understand that the mayor herself has no administrative duties. Literally, it's her job to oversee the council meetings and to sign things and to smile for the camera.
I want
And
somebody to say,
how are we
man,
blaming her?
please tell somebody what the position. And you know what, Trisha, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it's like some people fail to understand the position
Structure.
of a mayor. You know, she's not the city manager. She's not parks. She's not Rex. She's not the director of any other department. She is the mayor.
She has no administrative duties. She doesn't even have like a ward. People can contact her, but she's not ward specific. She votes and she oversees council. Now, do I necessarily, am I going to vote for her? I don't know. But the truth of the matter is that if there's a problem with EMS in the fire department, that was there before. She came in with style and grace. She took the seat of a tyrant, and she's done amazing with it. She's handled some really hairy meetings. I mean, we can't blame things on her she has no control over. I will also say, in fairness, because I try to be as fair and as honest and as truthful as I can be. I've seen campaign uh, posts where she takes credit for certain things that I don't know. I've heard she doesn't have the whole credit for. And I feel like if we're going to go based upon those facts, that we need to be that way for everybody who voted the same way. And I
Anything
can
I
say that
will
about the
say,
other candidates too. They do the
yeah,
same thing. They're all doing it.
yeah, yeah, they all do. So I was about to say, anything that is approved by council, whether she voted for it or not, requires her signature. So guess what?
Yeah.
It's
I
mine.
mean, that's what she's the face of the city. That's what she
I mean,
does.
even people that voted against the tennis center being implemented, it's here. Their name is there. So guess who is it's theirs. People that voted against the Sterling Pruitt Center that was on council at that particular time, regardless to if they wanted it or not, it's there. Um, and their name is on it. It's a sense of ownership. It's a sense of agreement. Again, even if I didn't want it, you know. But
I guess the one that stood out to me was the thing about the parks. The 1.4 million for the parks.
yeah,
I felt like that was actually a community effort. Like, I know you signed the paperwork and you're the mayor. I get that whole aspect of it.
right,
But I
right,
believe that what I saw was that the community brought that to the council and fought hard for it. So
correct.
so when I saw that, that
I,
was a little like,
yeah,
but like you said,
I,
she did sign
I,
the papers.
I will agree with that. Especially Tony, if you did click in Perry, he's on the line. But I when it comes to that, I mean, knowing that some and several individuals before it got to the place it was had spoken to Mayor Mouton about, and other members of council for that matter, about what should and needed to be done in, in our parks. So
And if she
mm,
fought for it once, it came to her attention, then by all means, I
yeah,
fought for
yeah,
the parks
I
and
will
rec.
say that. Yeah,
That's fine. But
wording,
to say I
wording,
did it,
is everything. Yeah, like you said,
I'm picky about it. So I'm kind
communication.
of anal about it.
Yeah, yeah. So, we talked about, some of the policy, politics. One of the other things that I want to mention, when it comes to politics is, or point out when it comes to local politics is, um, not calling any, editors or anything like that out. But I will say that our media seems to be a little skewed, and it's nothing new. Again, as a what'd you say,
It's
Trisha?
not just the elections, but oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, right.
You're
Like
being
I said,
nice. Don't sugarcoat it.
as a candidate, um, I know that whether it's written and or televised or on the, on the radio, I know that, sometimes it can be a little skewed, especially being, um, who and how some of us as advocates and, individuals in our community that are looked at as leaders or, visionaries, um, sometimes when we go to these alternate or 2 hour um, medias, there's like either a half-cocked story that's told about the excellence that we're trying to do, but the moment, what I'm saying, it's some shiggity, some shady shiggity, then it's exploited for days on end, and it's like you can damn near not get enough of the story. So my question,
And it's a lot like the telephone game. It just keeps changing a little bit here and there
yeah,
till a dove turns into an elephant. It's
elephant turned to a rat.
social media is pretty good for that. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
The thing is that
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that it's not. There's been a lot of talk about, I guess Roy West is active in the community. I think I've been pretty active in the community for the last 4 years, but definitely the last two. I think that I've got my ears to the ground, that I pay attention to people, I speak for them when they need be. I'm pretty, in tune with what goes on. I might have missed that about the casino thing or the Las Vegas, but whatever.
Mhm.
So um, I never see Roy West anywhere until election season. I'm told he has a podcast and he has a this and a that. I've never heard of any of it. That is what concerns me. Like, if you're not here all the time, don't come in part time telling me what you're going to do. When you had time to do it, you didn't do it. I want people to look at the candidates who've done it, the people that can prove they've done it, the people who will continue to do it whether they get the seat or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we need to focus on, not this bickering, mudslinging, uh, doom and gloom commercial. Because I did see the doom and gloom, I call it doom and gloom, but like the executive
Yeah.
raw
Yeah.
commercial.
Yeah. Um,
That's not what this is about.
at all. This is not, and like you said, um, and this, not just to Roy West, but some of the incumbents as well. Don't just hop out of your seat or your comfort zone, and just show up in my community out of nowhere around election season, and because you stick around for a year or two, and you're there, like I said, doesn't mean that we're okay with you all of a sudden showing your face and now you're going to ask us for your vote, and you weren't there 4, 6, 8, 10 years ago, or even hell 4 years ago, because we're damn near 4 years into COVID. You weren't really there. I put myself in particular places, um, because that's what I am, a servant to people. And I heard you say the same exact thing, and I do. I serve my people day in and day out, and it's not for a show. It's not for, um, it's not for none of that. So, uh, yeah, I just want people to understand that some people will misuse your engagement at the best of their ability, and they will misuse your intellect and your knowledge at the best of their ability, and discredit, positions or mechanisms of power like voting, um, so that you could be absent from the table. People that's not at the table don't eat. And for a long time, many communities were kept from the table, um, and had not even a handout. I was gonna say not even a dust of a crumb. So I just really want people to pay attention to this local election. Understand that, there is some dirty politics that happen. There is some dirty games, people paying to put signs in yards and different things like that. People taking pictures, building the sense of deception, taking pictures and posting these pictures on their campaign pages and different things like that, as if those individuals in those pictures literally said that they would vote for them. Again, building that sense of deception so that they will portray to have crossover, and they would portray to have the best interests of your and our communities. So I do appreciate you saying that, Trisha, because I hear it.
I try to speak the truth.
Yeah, right. I hear it as much as I mean, as much as I engage in the community, and that's on the senior citizen side, the veteran side, the business and entrepreneurial side. I mean, there are a lot of people I know that, you know that are shocked by some of the things they have seen, coming from, the opposition, especially in the mayor's race.
And at the most pivotal moments too. Like he came out with that doom and gloom commercial just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
Like right when we had some stuff going on that we're not accustomed to. There he was. Well, where were you before it happened? It just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't agree with what's been going on.
I really don't either. I'm texting Tony. I don't know if he's still in the background or not, but
He's probably eating.
yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm trying to I'm trying to let him know that, Perry wants in the show. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna right fast. We're gonna look at some of the comments on the side from our viewers. Look,
You
What
right
you
he
here.
got,
was
Tony?
eating. Look,
Yeah,
he was eating.
no, I was not.
Oh.
I was back listening to you guys, and the show is very interesting. And but
Perry want
I
in,
think
man.
I see Perry, but I want to say this because if I don't say what I want to say now, I won't get a chance. Perry
Now
chance
would he
here.
get one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, yeah.
no.
But I want to also note. I also want to recognize the comments on the comment board,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
I was
like
just
that. Let's
about to do that.
keep it going. You can see those, not yeah. But I want to
Yeah.
say this: stop
Yeah.
sugarcoating it, and let's tell it like it is. Raw West, I like the guy, and I've never done anything wrong to me, never done anything to me. But you sugarcoating it. The guy is not. We're not telling the truth. The guy is dirty politics. Everything that is promoted by him is not the truth. It's false. 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 Fake news. And it needs to stop. And I want people to understand, do not drink the Kool-Aid. Do not drink the Kool-Aid.
It's tang, man.
Yeah, right. Now what got us
That's
here?
tang, man.
What got
Stop
us here
playing.
these last 2 years? Bowman has developed urgency. Bowman has developed a sign of expansion. Beaumont has developed in the last 2 years a signs of growing in a way that it should have gone 20 years ago or 30 years ago. So when you've got a car and the engine is running right, don't get under the hood and try to fix it.
Hmm.
Well, let me bring Perry in, and I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. And I really I want to butt in and say that
Yeah,
I
and
don't
we're
have
gonna address these comments too,
I don't have my
Mister.
eyes on,
Yes,
but
we're gonna
I just want to make
comment.
sure you understand that don't drink the Kool-Aid, people. Go to the
Yeah.
polls and vote for what you know and who you know and who you can trust.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. So the we're gonna look at some of these comments right fast. So
Okay, go ahead.
Facebook user said she don't drink or gamble, but connections made brought back $26.4 million for the Port of Beaumont.
Awesome, awesome. That's
First
If she
time.
wants to drink and gamble, if she's bringing back all that money,
right.
Look, and she spent
I mean,
look, and she
stop.
spent $30,000 to go to Vegas, and she brought 26.4 million back. You can take my money anytime, man.
I mean, at least the
Look, and
investment
you can
worked
flip
out.
my money anytime. You understand me? No, but she definitely did
Want to make a run for me?
that. She was the first mayor in the history of Beaumont. In the history of Beaumont, I'm gonna say it one more time. She was the first mayor in the history of Beaumont to ever do something like that.
Right.
First mayor
Wow,
ever.
that's significant. Now that would be an awesome campaign.
Hmm.
Like that should be somewhere where I could see it because I didn't know that this happened.
Yes, 20
That's important.
$26.4 million to the Port of Beaumont. And we know that the Port of Beaumont is expanding. We know that, there's a lot of happenings. Like Tony said, there's growth happening in the community. So that brings, business to the area as well.
Hmm.
And commerce, needed commerce. And I'm not just talking about petrochemicals and things like that. There are other dry goods that our port will be able to handle with this expansion that we're
Exactly. And do you guys know that there is going to be a super highway in this area? There's not going to be enough employees to fill in the jobs that's going to be available. And the
so
next, yes,
even with that, and I'm glad you said that because you know, having the opportunity to sit down with elected officials and candidates, building our future, not only for the jobs that are to come, but the jobs that are here and the lives that are here. Sustainment is one of the greatest things that should be on the top of our list, especially for people pouring into people.
right.
We definitely have to educate not only ourselves, but those to come so that these jobs aren't, given to allegedly qualified individuals that live on the outskirts of the city of Beaumont only. And here it is, we're looking at developments going up around us, and we don't really have our hands in it.
That's right. And
Mr.
we,
Anthony Cooper said, "Make a difference without a candidacy title." He just saying. So, like you were saying, Trisha, yeah. If West want our vote, first things first. Don't be deceptive as a candidate, because then if you are deceptive as a candidate, then my interpretation is that you're going to be deceptive as the elected, and I cannot have an elected official that's restrictive or biased in my access. You understand that? Nobody, do not allow nobody to restrict or be biased in your access as a voting citizen. Um, Facebook user said he had 18 months to show up, but in October you want to show up at every black church, but never before has shown up. Now where that come from?
yeah.
You never really fellowship with us on a regular basis, and now you all up in the midst. You looking at us shout.
But we
You
know,
Try to be a little less
we've
obvious.
got some weak people. We do have some weak people, and they will buy.
man,
They
We,
will
man.
we,
buy.
we
They
also
will
have a lot
buy.
of
They'll
citizens
buy. They'll
scared of
they'll
what
buy
goes
his
on.
tickets. Because we're weak. But the strong shall survive. And people, I'm telling you right now, I'm encouraging you. I'm not telling you why you hadn't voted, but I'm encouraging you right now. to go out and vote for the candidate that has produced produced in the last 2.5 years what we've been expecting. We can't
I
satisfy everybody,
I
but just
totally
go out and
agree.
vote.
I totally agree. Facebook user said he would never show up again at D Money Daiquiris ever again, which is where they had the shootout. and I,
Right
so
after the
and I don't mean
commercial.
to laugh. I really don't mean to laugh because that is an a very that shit don't make no sense. That shit don't make
Right.
no sense. And then
Was that his campaign? Was that where his
yeah,
campaign was
he
being managed from?
no, he had and I guess like a just a pair up event, a show off event or something. And when well before the shit hit the fan, he
Ah,
was
yeah.
already gone, right? Uh, but after that incident, the police now harasses everybody or every other somebody that goes to D Money's
It's my understanding that the police were across the street the entire time.
the entire time.
They were having cars removed from the apartment complex over there because there was overflow parking going to the apartments. The apartments called the tow truck. The tow truck said it was overwhelmed. They couldn't get all the cars. They needed police backup, that's legitimate. That's what tow trucks do. So they were there the whole time.
Yeah,
Shots rang and
yeah,
they sat
that's
there.
what I heard too. That's what heard too. Anthony Cooper said, "Don't show up."
That's not what the news said.
Yeah, right. No, the news didn't say that. Again, when we
Just
get
the
our
eyewitnesses.
news, it's skewed. um,
Mm.
Anthony Cooper said, "Don't show up at churches and events, etc., when it's election time or want to be candidate for office. You don't need a title to make a difference in our community or our city." Just his opinion, and I totally agree with with that opinion. Don't show up when it's befitting for you.
Absolutely.
Don't show up when it's befitting to you. Facebook user said, "What black club will you show up at and swing out at? Go to the swing out tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Go to the swing out tomorrow night and grab a black lady by and swing out with them. I guarantee you, if he can swing, he ain't going to swing out. But then again, he's everywhere. I promise. He is literally everywhere. And that's what you do as a candidate. But again,
In the campaign month.
yeah, again, I'm gonna say as a candidate, but as an elected official, that time is you're not gonna see none of these candidates and or incumbents as much as you see them now. Even as incumbents, they're like, man, I can't wait for this to be over because I still got to do the city's duty while I'm running on the campaign trail. So, no, yes, I totally agree. Facebook user, there definitely need to be a readdressing of our chief of police. There definitely needs to have some conversation about that. I totally agree, especially when it comes to our chief of police agreeing or condoning, I'll say, some of the actions by wayward police officers. We don't condone it as the community and as our police chief. We weren't or am not or not expecting you to condone it either. So, with that being said, we are
Been doing
definitely,
a lot lately.
yeah, we are definitely, um, whoever hopefully, the incumbent mayor and a few other elected officials after this election will look into having, a review of a search for another police chief because of yeah, some of the things that is allowed and that is condoned, rather we as the larger public agree with it or not, it happens. I've never in my life seen and or heard of somebody um, having a restraining order on a peace officer. I've never heard that in my life, but I guarantee you there is.
The teenager who got his, don't get me going.
Yeah, yeah,
The police officer and the teenager, come on.
well,
And
yeah,
he says that he condones that. It's fine.
yeah,
I saw the video. What?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's not the first time he did the same thing with Christopher Shaw. It was all right. The
Exactly.
officer was all
That's
right.
that's that's one of the ones that I was talking about in particular because, um, again, you said our police chief said on 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 local news that he stand by his officers and the unfortunate situation. No, that's not unfortunate. How do you?
That was
That
horrific.
is extremely horrific for you to dump an individual that's apprehended and handcuffed on their head,
A teenager.
regardless to how they talking. And the situation with the teenager, I
Both of them. It was just, it's all disgusting. How dare you say that that's okay?
Facebook users say he's paying people at the voting polls to wear his shirts. Yes, he is. He's paying a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have I know I know personally that have consumed or worked in the West campaign, and they love it.
How much they're paying?
They are, from what I hear, they're paying pretty well. But I mean,
Yeah.
Just wondering what the going rate to break the
Yeah.
law is.
look,
That's
let me
all.
tell y'all something. It's the
Other
same
than
situation
elections,
with signs
politics.
don't vote. Signs don't
Yeah.
vote, and a paid person, you paying somebody, that doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're gonna vote for you. I just got your money though. Thanks. Go ahead, big bro.
No, man, I have been enjoying this conversation, man. I was about to say, man, other than Christmas being the biggest season of grift, the next one is elections, man. It's the next biggest grift in our life, and it gets down to a very base level. I mean, you begin to understand it. If you work around campaigns, unfortunately, there are some people whose livelihoods depend on these few extras. Just because, I mean, just like some folk depend on income taxes, some folk who live and die by getting some extra,
Right.
cash. And I'm all, again, I'm not against that. Don't talk, um, but I've enjoyed this conversation, Trish.
Hi.
Hearing your viewpoints. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Um, Matt, this is my third time coming down for the election, and first time being here for the whole election.
Hmm.
Thank you.
And it gives me a chance to, I know you guys may not be able to see it, but if you're from the outside and come in, you can look at things with a different perspective and see some strengths and you see some weaknesses.
A lot of craziness.
A lot of craziness. There's craziness everywhere. I don't need to come to Beaumont to see crazy. But
Oh, man.
but going through this whole campaign, it's been interesting. I've had the chance to meet, pretty much most of the candidates. They all seem to congregate in one place. Which again, you're going to the crazy. You want to talk crazy? I mean, it's like if you you want some good catfish, go to the bingo on Friday night. I don't know. I mean, it seems like tradition.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is both novel in terms of being funny and sometimes being sad, because if we don't understand the signal of what everyone congregating at Rogers Park is saying,
Yes,
even from black candidates. I mean, and not trying to go there, but again,
it's
when you
there.
come in from the outside and you see, like Della Reese say, a whole bunch of silly shit. Sometimes you wonder, and but Trish, to your point, about the mayor and taking credit again, my thing is any leader should be given the credit just as they should be given all of the shit that comes with it.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to take the shit to go with it, I'll be willing to give you
The
a
flowers
few
that I grew
accolades.
out the
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
yeah, and but you're not the only one. And I know when you said that, some people will go, "Ooh, that white lady saying that," and it's again, I'm coming home, and so you get to hear different stuff on the cuts and by the ways.
Age.
You ain't the only one. I mean, who had who, who would say that, but I'm glad we can be honest about it, because then we can, as Chris eloquently did it, kind of just set the tone and leveled it out so you could understand from a perspective that we understand. And I know that whether whether it's appropriate or not, whether it's valid or not, yeah, I mean, there are some people who would give Mayor Mouton credit who are African American just because she's African American.
Well, she
And
does
we
deserve
need to be
credit for that. She's
honest.
the first African
No,
American
and I'm just
female.
saying we need to be honest about it, because when we see other people do it for other folk, we get pissed off about it. And so that's just all things being equal. Let's get past that one.
Yeah.
Cause that's gonna be there. I guess what I would ask, Emir Mouton, and I would say the city council that was seated in 2021 has done a very decent job in some ways of seeing progress. I mean, we can't say that we saw a deficit. We've seen some signs of progress. And for some people, I don't know if they may feel that. I know I can see it coming from the outside in. I can see some progress, and just like we did some progress, I can also see the pains that come with it. Going down 4th Street, I'm gonna send Mel Mouton my bill, because since everybody blaming Mel Mouton, I'm gonna send you my bill, because I damn near messed up my front end going down 4th Street. But I understand that is much needed improvement for a project that is long, long overdue. And so that's just the pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also knowing that knowing that 4th Street is 20 plus years overdue, I do know that there are some folk who would think that, well, why are we even spending money over there? Ain't no money over there. I mean, ain't no people over there, as if the folk who are there are nothing. And again, I'm telling you what I've heard.
I've heard there's a lot of which word is better.
And so, yeah, and so for me
that.
coming home, right, and so for me saying, because Roy West met me, you from here? No, I ain't from here, but I'm from here. And that's what I said. No, I ain't from here, but I'm from here. And we talked, and I met just like I did with all the other candidates.
Yeah.
And so I guess I would say, I mean, if I came in as a person who was just who had just come here in 2021 or whatever, and for those who are here now, rather than going through all of the political points of bringing money back, and politics is about pork, so she needs to be bringing pork back. Let the people eat, and but I would ask, do you think that things could have been worse in the last 2 years?
Yes.
And do you think that where we are now is worse than we were 2 years ago. Take
No,
all the
no,
politics out of it, take
Yeah.
all of that out of it,
Right.
no.
and so it becomes a question of why would you try to tinker with something that works?
Yeah. I mean,
And let's get away from the small bullshit of personality, because when you're in leadership, and all of the those people around that dais have done something stupid publicly and will continue,
yes, just like the
because
call for a
that's
raise
just
right
part of
before the
yeah,
election, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
you rescind your order. What?
yeah.
Like, I mean, and it's that dumb shit that they play to like make sure you're not paying attention. If we were really paying attention and saw that that was on the agenda, you would have. I mean, cause like when I saw that was on the agenda, I was like, wait, what? A
Who put it?
raise? Yeah,
Who put it on? Whose
who?
idea was that?
Randy
Who
Felshaw?
first? I already knew. I already knew. I
But
just wanted to say it.
yeah, I mean, like when we saw that, I was like, and
Do
then
we know
when
what
it
else
comes
Randy has
up
put
at
on the agenda in
council.
the past 2 years?
Man, and that's the look. Let me tell y'all. Like one of the things Perry said that that makes a resounding sound, or should be like somebody just dumped all your silverware out on a tile floor, and it's you know just chaos. That's all you hear is just silverware banging and clanging everywhere. Um, he said in the last 2 years. Now take this into consideration. In the last 2 years, we have seen a lot of change happen in the last 2 years. So we had a mayor, we got a new ward, and a new at large, right? So one of these at large is, I mean, on it. You understand? And the other at large is riding the coattail. So you could tell me how that goes, because the other at large been in there longer than the other at large. And this, fuck it. AJ done catapulted. See, I was trying to be good. AJ done catapulted, and Randy is trying to hold on to the cape. You understand? Or
The
the
team is a
ankles.
one-man show.
That's what I'm saying. And AJ needs support. AJ needs support. So if we go and vote just for AJ, and no disrespect to anybody's political game or political um um uh, uh you know plan to get back in for real, my take to everybody on that's watching right now: do not leave AJ out by himself. Go and make a second vote. Your
Thank you.
second votes matter. Your
They're
second
going to
vote
seat that position
matters.
anyway.
Exactly.
Exactly, if you do not pair AJ with support, I'm not talking about with another candidate or incumbent that's going to ride his coattail or his heels. One that's going to do the same exact hard work uh, across the board for citizens of this city. And the only person that I can find like that I have in my pocket like that, is Terry Roy. And there it is.
Thank
Right.
It
you.
is. That's the only two people I see working for the benefit of people here in the city of Beaumont, because they know without the sustainment of people, this city sinks.
Could you
Those
imagine
are your
if
two.
we had
Exactly.
That's
AJ
your
and
two at
Terry Roy
Lord.
stated?
That's your two at Lord. And I approve this message.
I
I
second it.
approve it.
I approve that message. I mean, because
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
and again, like I said, no disrespect to whoever's planning
I
this,
get the
your
reasonings behind the
votes.
whole one thing. I get that. I understand your
100%.
rate of splitting the vote. There, AJ
100%.
is fine. He's got it. He's done the
AJ
work.
is
People
the
can see
front
that.
running candidate. Exactly. He's the
If
front
you give
running
him somebody
candidate.
who don't cripple him, Give him a team member.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And
I,
again,
I mean,
give
and
him
again,
somebody that's not
I'm
gonna
just
suck
saying,
out the energy from him.
let's just go to the logic. Let's just go to the logic. Elections are always about numbers, right? Always about numbers.
Correct.
So how in the hell are
Hell.
you going to win with numbers when you have a vote which is one more number and you say no, I'm gonna keep it to
I'm
my
gonna leave it
damn
on the
self?
table. No.
That is not smart. And again, it goes back to this craziness, Trish.
Look
How you
at it.
gonna win with numbers and you say, "Oh, I have one more choice, but I'm gonna take it off the table because of what?
Yo.
You ran out of choices."
First of all, I don't know why the choice to vote for one at large is on the ballot. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You need to fill both.
I understand why Randy does
incomplete.
it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I understand why
I
those that
understand why
cannot
Randy does
guarantee the people to come out in their favor. That's why they say vote for one and be done, because you don't have confidence in the people you have served or the people you're willing to serve to come out in your favor. But we all
Okay.
see that, again, AJ, Albert Turner, has come out in everybody's favor on both sides of the interstate, which is what
AJ's
an
doing the
at-large
work. He's
council.
doing- oh, like he's the only one doing it
One
at
hundred
large.
percent,
all by himself.
100%, Trisha,
Well,
100%.
let's give the man
AJ has.
a team
Hey,
member.
I totally agree. I totally
It-
agree.
that
He
whole-
needs
The whole
he
thing
needs
aggravates
support.
me because we push for voting, but then we tell people only do it once. That to me, it doesn't make any sense. You want to use your votes, but you don't want to use your votes. I mean, it's contradictory.
Okay, Chris, I know I've been drinking some good coffee, and my coffee told me there's logic here. I mean, first, you have to understand your strength because the Firefighters Union and Randy Felchar are telling you, they're telling you, you all have the numbers.
You don't know how to count.
And unfortunately, we will shout when Real Madoff or whoever start talking about somebody being grasshoppers in somebody's sights, and yet the grasshoppers start shouting because that's what we acting like. We got the numbers, and we fearing some other stuff that we don't know because we too scared to count. We too scared to come together. We too territorial.
We don't want to meet each other. At
Our
least meet
egos
each other.
all over the place. And if somebody tell you the truth, then you want to get mad like somebody saying, who the hell is Perry? And my thing is, I'm just saying it. It's up to you how you receive it, because I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm just talking Chris and Trisha right now. So if you feel some kind of way about what I'm saying, then maybe you need to check how you receiving what I'm saying. Because I'm just saying what I see from somebody coming on the outside looking in. You got a whole lot more at your disposal if you know how to use it.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Let's look at some of these comments right fast, y'all.
Hi, Terry.
Yeah, right. So we stopped with chief of police at the crime rate in Beaumont. He's paying people at the polls to wear his shirt. We know about that from the west side.
Still wondering how
I
much
hate
that's
to
going
say
rate.
this. I'm trying to figure out. I'm telling you, I'll put on a shirt like it's Louis Vuitton.
Listen,
As long as you
just give me the
paying me.
money. Do whatever you want with your damn shirt.
I'm here for a couple of days. I might go wear a shirt if y'all see me with one. Don't you know?
Turn it
I'm
inside
just
out.
Look,
getting paid.
hey
I'm
man,
just getting paid.
I just I look. I'll use it to get me some more coffee.
That's all. That's
Not
all.
Kool-Aid. Just don't buy the Kool-Aid.
I'm not drinking this coffee. I'm
Don't-
just drinking the. I'm drinking, not drinking the Kool Aid,
I'm
but the
drinking
coffee.
a coffee. I hate to say this, but I hate to say this, but all areas of Beaumont need help. They forgot about South Park. It's time for a change. South Park
Most
is
definitely.
a neglected area. I will say again to anybody and everybody, your Ward 4 council is unopposed. So that means we are satisfied. If we are not, then that means go to your Ward 4 council. I will say it. Christopher Durio number. Nah, I'm not gonna give his number out in public. 'Cause that's my big brother. That's my royal. I don't do that to my
Right,
royals.
right,
Um,
right.
but I definitely know that he.
Didn't have a child.
All you got to do is reach out to him, and if you have to do it more than one time, it's all right. Because again, this is not a candidate. That's the incumbent. He's working for you, and if he ain't, pull his coattail. I'm telling you, he is also one of the advocates that are speaking out against the untruths or the biased truths, the biased
Yeah,
lies that's being told by the fire department. And he is an ex-fireman. He's a part of the
one
firefighters
in which
union.
they did not and one in which
And I
they
was
did
about to
not
say,
endorse.
they did not endorse. Not only did they not endorse him, but they had not endorsed a black candidate, period. Period. One more time to make the devil mad. Period. They ain't endorsed one black candidate. And mind you, the firefighters union, the firefighters got an increase in pay. Can we get somebody to check these hydrants? Because I'm sure that, well, better yet, let me tell y'all why they got an increase in pay. So that every time somebody calls 911 and there's a fire, 16 fire trucks are going to come out. Do you not know, as taxpayers of the city of Beaumont, every fire truck that comes out, you got to pay for it? And
Yes.
the reason it's a bunch of them coming out is because nobody can, man, no, none of them can get enough pressure through the fire hydrant to put a fire out. So that's why all of them trucks be out there.
That's because
And
we're opening the hydrants to get rid of the brown water. That's why there's no pressure.
no, let me tell you. If you look, let me tell you. Uh, the previous administration, Kyle Hayes, I know for sure, told the citizens of Beaumont that there was no infrastructural problems. Period. No infrastructural problems. Mind you, the whole time he was talking about that, you have painted hydrants, red top painted hydrants, and yellow top painted hydrants. Though that means that the fire department went through testing those hydrants, and there was not enough pressure in those hydrants to put water in the truck, let alone put out a fire. That comes from the previous administration. And if you expecting 2 years of Mayor Mouton to get that fixed, you're sadly mistaken.
Let's
And I
be
don't
clear. It
care.
is going to
It could
take
be
years
it could
of the
be two
best
years of
people.
any other candidate, right? It could be 2 years of any other candidate. And if the candidate told you that they're gonna get that done, tell them I said you a bold face. Ooh, you a bold face lie. Ooh, I was about to give it to you. Ooh,
Please.
yeah, you a bold face. Tell them you a bold
Right,
face lie.
right.
Back to the comments. Chris, the something looking good. Hey man, I'm gonna say it again. The only reason some of our neighborhoods are seeing some of the progress that we have been fighting for ages, decades, is because of the change in administration. The mayor, the at-large council, AJ Turner, I know for sure, and several other advocates, community advocates, and members that sit in commissions of the city of Beaumont. Those individuals also change. Some of the interior department heads changed. That's why the South End and other parts of the city is starting to look like a city, like it's a part of Beaumont, because the administration has changed. The mayor and council has, I will say, done phenomenal when they changed the interior, because that
Right.
was one of the holdbacks. That was one of the reasons why Perry mentioned that 4th Street has never been fixed in almost 2 decades. Here it is. I know I graduated from Central Senior High School in 1999. Central Senior High School, not Central Medical Magnet, although it's the same building, not the same mindset. But Central Senior High School, I graduated. Angelina Street still raggedy till this day. If you went to Central back in the early '90s and you know Angelina Street was raggedy, it's still raggedy till this day. And the reason that is because of your previous mayor and administration, your mayor, management, and administration. Parks and Rec, the same reason why a lot of African American neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, allegedly minority my neighborhoods, parks were underfunded. And not just parks everywhere, because you see how nice it looks on in other parks, but you come back on this side of the city again, that disconnect. I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for at least giving my current mayor, my at large, AJ Turner, a fair shot, and Christopher Durio a fair shot in representing us. These past 2 years has been phenomenal. And all I could tell y'all is just keep accessing your council, access your members of council, and if they don't want to do it, find you somebody that's willing to represent you and many others that's in your neighborhood and in your city. If they don't want to do right, get them out of there, and you ain't got to wait 2 years. Um, he said, Terry Roy on the line. He said, "Hey, my friends, I work late. Sorry I couldn't join y'all." We already know, man. Make that money, because if you're not, sis gonna be mad at you. We do need to keep. Miss Eleanor Nixon said we do need to keep more people of color of color representation in this city, because we are the majority. We are 100% the majority. They are businesses on 4th Street, a bunch of businesses on 4th Street, and some of them left because of the conditions that the previous mayor, management, and administration had them to go through. My hat goes off to any person that wants to be in the leadership role in this city. I totally agree. My hat goes off to them as well. And Ms. Eleanor, thank you for your comment. Mr. Anthony Cooper said, I totally agree with that, with what he just said. I don't know what it was, but I totally agree too. uh, uh, don't be bought even to wear the shirt. I totally agree, Mr. Cooper. Don't be bought. He say,
I'm not wearing it. I'm just trying to get money.
absolutely. Facebook user, if you need Chris Durio's number, get at me. Hit me up in my inbox, and I'll definitely give you that. Um, and he's better than okay. He's a royal. I promise.
There
I
was a
promise.
meeting recently. I want to say it was the one that ended up at the other location that it wasn't live, but they did show it later on. He was asking some questions. Like, he's always, to me, he's like quiet and laid back and watching quietly. He asked some serious questions at that meeting, and
Yeah.
definitely very
I
active.
will say this. I will say this. He was more than a figurehead for the fire department if he sat on their board. So let us not undervalue him, because they understand his worth as well.
Correct.
Believe me, if they didn't think so, they would have endorsed him.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But they don't
And he's a
feel as
veteran.
though.
He's a veteran, which
Yeah,
is another reason why I don't understand the firefighters union that you are a part of didn't endorse him. Terry Roy said, I would like for people to recognize that the power to change things lies in their hands more than their council person. I totally agree, because if you're not engaging with your council person, they don't know. They can't read minds. Yeah, we may sit on the porch and talk mad about the conditions that we're going through, but it's no change that's gonna happen with it being on the porch every Tuesday at 1:30. If you can, make it to city council. If you can't, send them an email. If you can't send them an email, give them a phone call. I guarantee you they going I guarantee you this is the best time to get access in the city of Beaumont.
And
Um,
and, and, let- and may I also add that part of having this engagement is also knowing some of the issues and not just your gripe. Um, we have as citizens the right to request information.
Mhm.
It's called the Freedom of Information Act. You make a request. They should have it on the city or on every city department's website
or county.
or county or wherever. You can make a request. Now, whether or not you get what you requested is an entirely different issue.
I'm still waiting a year later.
But you have to make the request.
I thought it was just me, T.
No, it's been a year at least.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you can't, then again, where Chris says, there comes the access. Because if they're not responding to me, then you as my city council person, you as my mayor, I bring it to you. And we have to come with at least some sort of, I'm sorry. If you're making a request, you have to bring the request the right way.
I totally agree. You definitely you
And we
have to
have to
point
bring
it in the right way.
we have to bring alliances. It's just not you alone.
Hmm. Hmm.
Best believe all of those people around that days, they respect numbers. Because elections are always about numbers. And if you don't know how to count,
Hmm. Yeah.
as they say, tough titty. Tough titty if you can't count.
Yeah. Miss Eleanor Nixon, she says, in my opinion, the people that get into leadership roles become a part of the controlled establishment, or also known as
I've heard that.
puppeted.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Um,
Yeah.
And
you
there's
remember we did
legitimate
this?
reason to think that. I mean, I'm not going
Yeah,
to dive into it too deeply because I don't have enough to back myself up right now. But
yeah,
she's not wrong. There's a lot of that
yeah,
going on.
yeah. There
Some of
is.
it they
That
don't
is.
have a choice. It's built in. It's like comes with the
Right,
job.
right, right. It comes with the shadow government, especially when the shadow government owns over 70 to 80% of the city.
Okay, well that there you
So
go. Hey, there you have it.
look, I'm
That's
just
where I'm
putting it
at.
out there like that. So like you just have to follow through, but not be puppeted. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not be restricted,
And at the same
not be
time,
denied.
they have to know they're
And
backed up. Like people are paying
correct,
attention, and we see what they're doing. That they're not being pup. They need to know it matters.
correct, correct, correct.
If you go out and
Um,
vote, when you go out to vote, make sure that you spend the next 2 years backing up your candidates. Like,
Facebook users say they got Chris Durio number, so that's good. All right, that's a bet. Go ahead, Trish.
um, when you go out and vote, you back up your candidates. Have their back. If they need support for something, give it to them. Don't not give it to them and then expect that they're going to make miracles happen because that's not fair. They need us and we need them, and it's got to be a team effort all the way around.
100%, 100%. Um, Terry Roy said Beaumont has 20-year problems. I want to say like 20 plus years problems
This is say 30.
because you know what I'm saying. I mean, like I've been here since I was 9. I'm 40. I'm 43 now. So I watch the decline of a city, you know what I'm saying, and the continuance of a decline, an imposed decline, and then an intentional decline. So like I want to say
Yeah.
we a little bit more than 20 years behind.
How long was
On,
Kyle in
on
office?
some sides of the city, they're
How
more
long
than
was
20
our city
years.
manager Kyle?
Um, if not 20,
I thought it was like 29, 28 or 29. I
I
could
was
be
about to
wrong.
say if not 20, damn near 30.
I bet you, if you look back, that's when it started really going downhill.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Pretty much. Like I said, it was intentional. Miss Eleanor Nixon said Bobby was out because she was supportive of giving outed. Yes, you sure right. Because she wasn't supportive of giving the firefighters a raise. The point was uh, at the majority of the firefighters didn't pay taxes in this city. Totally agree. Because most of the firefighters, man, look, most of the firefighters and from what I'm hearing, even including some of the union reps, and it might not be the firefighters in particular, but some of them I know are in favor of even removing the fire chief, who, if y'all have not paid attention, through his works uh, and partnerships, have gotten a fire department nationally recognized, if I'm not mistaken. And if I am, I'll fact check myself tomorrow, if to make sure. And if I stand corrected, I'll come back. And if not, I'm gonna leave it just as it is, as it's recorded. Um, Also, the emergency management, Tim Ognachek has done familiar things. I mean, phenomenal things with the support of the fire chief, um, on keeping a lot of individuals safe here in the city of Beaumont. So I'm we just like Perry said, we have to really pay attention to what's actually going on, instead of, like Trisha said, not supporting that candidate whenever we elect them. Just going to the poll and tapping their name is just half of the battle. You remember GI Joe? That's just half of the battle. The end of the battle is when you get your entire plan access through that member of council. And access, I don't know if y'all know, access come and goes. So if you don't have that come and go without restriction or bias, you don't have you don't have that candidate. That candidate is not suited or best suited for you. um, Facebook user said, "Good luck, Terry." Miss Eleanor Nixon said, "Thank you guys for speaking the truth without holding back." Well, especially after Tony came on in, was like, "Nah, man, come on, man, come on, cut the shit." And then we saw Perry in the background. We was like, "Yeah, we better cut the shit."
well, generally we don't really have shit to cut, but
That's true too. That's true too. But we do try to respect, our viewers and our
well, we're a
listeners,
fairly
Right,
new
and
part
right,
of the
watchers.
show here, so we're trying
right.
not to, piss
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
off at
right.
once.
No,
So
I mean, as they say, sometimes you have to be profane to be profound.
yes, indeed.
You
Yes,
know,
indeed.
because when life hits you, it's hitting you just like that, and it's nothing nice about it. And sometimes, just as I say, it's part of my passion. I
Absolutely.
forgive me.
What do they say?
Absolutely.
If you want something sugar coated, go get a donut.
Yes.
That's it.
So before we wrap up, I do want everybody to know that this Saturday, May 6th, 2003, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., the polls will be open in various areas. Now, mind you, this is tricky, tricky, tricky. The same polling locations that were open for early elections are not all the same polling locations that will be open for election day. So, yes, that's confusing. Your face looks confusing. I know it. I know it. I see it on your face, Perry. So I could just imagine what the face of our watchers and listeners are enduring. But yes, the um
Can we post the locations? Like, where can I get a list of the
I
locations?
thought all those were city
yes
buildings.
um
I thought all those were city buildings.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll make sure that we get that emailed out to you, but you could definitely go to the Jefferson County uh, elections website, and they have the early election polling locations and the election day polling locations. And like I said, those are not the same. Not all of them are the same. Um, for me in particular, I live in the real South End. Our polling location is Charlton Pollard Elementary at the rear, the gym side of the school. For the avenues, which is also a part of our association. Um, that will be Martin Luther King Middle School. Um, those two areas I know, but BISD also is undergoing an election as well. So check out some of the neighborhood or neighboring schools for those on-site polling locations. Um, but again, like I said, the official ballot for May 6th, 2023, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. For Mayor Robin Mouton, James Darrell Eller Jr., Roy West, Council Member at Large, vote one, a vote for two. Michael Cooper, Bagita Hernandez Smith, Albert A.J. Turner, Terry Preston Roy, Randy Felshaw. Council Member Ward 1, Tahir Karushi, Taylor Neal. Council Member Ward 2, Mike Getz, unopposed. Council Member Ward 3, vote for none or one, Odwin Samuel, Gary Senegal, Carlton Sharp. Uh, City Council Ward 4, vote for one or none, Charles Christopher Chris Durio Jr., unopposed. Beaumont Independent School District is also undergoing elections as well. Like we mentioned, this is a joint election. Um, so we have trustee for District 4 that's on that side of Washington Boulevard, South Park, Pear Orchard. If I'm not mistaken, this is your representative. Uh, 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 what's that? Terra Park. I think this is also your representative. Maybe even Dishman. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I'm not sure. I have to look at the maps again. So, but Trustee District 4, vote one or none. Kevin Reese, Thomas P. Segee Sr., Brian C. Nouveau. Trustee at large, vote two. For your at large, again, I'm telling y'all that's how it goes. Vote two for your at large, BISD trustee at large Robert Dunn, trustee at large Denise Wallace Spooner, Makila Patillo, or Carl Kevin Lambeth Jr. Those are the candidates that are on your ballots. Again, some of those, depending on where you live, may not be there. If you do not know your ward, please reach out to the Knowledge is Power podcast. We'll definitely find out where you live and tell you who your ward representative is. If you are not registered to vote, please, please, please register to vote. If you are registered to vote, um, let me see. I got a list full of people that's registered to vote. And I also have another list full of people that's registered to vote that had not voted yet. I understand that on that list there are some registered voters that did a mail-in ballot, and that ballot has not may not have been counted yet. So we may be reaching out to you to ask you again if you have voted, to confirm you did your mail-in ballot, and we will with you wait for receipt on your mail-in ballot. Uh,
Right.
because there are discrepancies when it comes to that as well, especially for our senior population. Reach out, everybody, to your seniors. Make sure that your seniors, if they did get their mail in, God bless the truth, if they did get their mail in ballot, make sure that they filled in the ballot correctly. Give them insight, share information. I hope we did as much as we possibly could to get other individuals to the polls, especially those individuals that I mentioned a moment ago that are registered but have not voted yet. Um,
Right.
Outside of that, if there's
And
any questions,
Chris, yeah, Chris, yeah. Since you mentioned that, if you if you want to reach out to the people in your neighborhood, contact me. I have the list. If you know your precinct number, I can give you the list of the people in your precinct, which are the people who will most likely turn out because they are the people who know you best and who you know best.
exactly, exactly,
You can do more. You can do more than these candidates can do by getting turnout. And so we have to understand that election is not about us just going to vote and me and my wife and my two and no more. We got to get the community involved. And so if you are willing, just reach out to Chris. I'll give you my number. I don't mind.
Yeah, mine is public record.
786-910-5140. We can find out what, if you don't know your precinct, we'll find out your precinct, and you'll just get a list of the folk in your precinct. You can start with the folk on your street that you see. And again, let's help each other, because as Chris said, I'm finding out that there are a lot of seniors, and the assumption is not that they haven't voted. Let's make sure that they're I think we got the mail-in voting list up to Tuesday. So anything after Tuesday, May 2nd, on up to Friday or whatever, we don't know that number, but if it is, then we want to make sure that that we know that you did send it out, so that we can help keep track of
I
this.
think there's an
Again, this
online
is all
website
about
where you can check the mail-in ballot receipt. I think.
You can.
that's hopefully if you requested
I
it.
was
If
about
you
to say,
didn't,
if you requested a mail-in ballot, and mind you, when you request a mail-in ballot for national elections, that's totally different than requesting a mail-in ballot for the city. Again, something else confusing. Um, so you file for your mail-in ballot application every year with the city, and I think every year with the county as well, so that you can receive that. Now, mind you, if you are not going to be in the area and you did not do an application at the beginning of the year or at the end of the election cycle, um, just long as you know that you're going to be outside of the county area, you can make that request for a mail-in ballot to whatever address you're going to be at, um,
correct.
because you know you're not going to be in this particular area
Yeah,
for
yeah.
elections.
Also, if you requested a mail-in ballot and you just heard us talk about it and you go, "Oh, I need to mail my ballot in," don't mail your ballot in now.
It's too late.
You have to drop it off at the either now
Okay.
downtown
Mm-hmm.
at the drop off,
Mm-hmm.
or you can drop it off at the polling location on Monday.
On my,
But do
on
not,
Saturday.
please do not put it in the mail now.
It won't count.
Yeah.
Don't
They-
believe the hype. It is not about if I have my postmark before Saturday. It the rule states if it is not within the county clerk's possession by the end of the election. So it has nothing to do with a postmark. It has to be in their possession.
Correct.
So drop it off if you still holding on to it, or you can turn it in
On
and go
at the
vote
polling
Saturday.
location. Yep. You could definitely do that. You could definitely, if you do have that, and if somebody in your family is disabled, um you could call your you can call me 409-499-9031. If somebody is disabled in your car and they refuse to let them vote, I will call somebody that will call somebody, or better yet, I will call somebody and they will authorize them to allow them to vote. So because again, that's part of the intimidation battle that we're fighting, along with several others of how individuals, were purged from the rolls and different things like that. Certain rules have changed. Um, but yeah, Trisha, you got any last comments, final comments?
I just want to stress is how important it is that we have two at-large candidates, and both votes count. Every single vote counts. Use your voice. Make your choices known.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tony, you back there? You got something to say?
He fell
I
asleep.
silly.
You're gonna sleep this time.
We're gonna wrap up, and then we're gonna before we do that, we'll read these final comments, and then hope everybody have a good night. Terry Roy said we need at least 5,000 votes on Saturday. I would say six to put us in a safe space. Six
Yep.
to make us know how much power we really do have. I say six. I call for it. Six. Yeah, yeah. Come on.
Man,
That's that PK in us, huh? That's that PK. I call 6,000 votes forward right now. Yeah. Um, somebody, Facebook user said, "Bless us, bless you back." Facebook user, whether you are male or female, we don't know. It just says Facebook user.
Bless
Um, they can vote anywhere. Yes, you are totally correct. They can vote anywhere on Saturday, but mind you, the lower your numbers are at your polling location, eventually your polling location may come into question. So
you.
I do tell people to vote. I am an election day voter. I only vote on election day, and I only vote at my polling location because eventually, if those numbers go too low, somebody gonna be like, "Hey, well, we don't need this poll." So I vote at
Yeah.
my poll. I'm always at my poll. So I mean, like I'm grateful to how we can vote anywhere within the county area. But I, I see a ploy behind that. There's like yeah, there's a ploy behind that. So again, I encourage people to vote at their polling location, that's within your polling area, or in your precinct area. And if not, you're just out and about. Again, vote, vote, vote. um, Alice Key Park is a polling. Is that a polling location? I didn't know that was a polling location. I thought it was Peach MacArthur, but Alice Key Park might be a polling location. I remember they did it one time at the Family Resource Center, but that's when Charlton Pollard was being built and Dunbar was tore down. Okay, thank you, Facebook users. So Alice Keith is a polling location in the South Park area. So check that out. I think it's Oldham Academy. Hold on, let me pull this up right fast so I could tell our viewers where the polling locations are, if y'all don't mind. All right. So May 6th, election polling locations are Amelia Elementary School in the gymnasium, BISD Administration Building in the boardroom, Dishman Elementary in the gymnasium, BISD Career Center, first floor old library, Rogers Park Community Center, Roy Guest Elementary hallway near the gymnasium, Alice Keat Park Recreation Center, Charlton Pollard Elementary Gymnasium, Lamar University Montaigne Center Cardinal Club Room, Jefferson County Courthouse Lobby Main Polling Location, Martin Luther King Middle School, Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School Gymnasium, John Paul Davis Community Center, Sterling Pruitt Center Multi-Purpose Room, uh, Theodore Johns Library Meeting Room. Those are the locations for for Saturday's election. And again, it's on Saturday. The weather is uh, fishy. It's predicted to be a little wet. So be safe in your travels as you go to and from the polls. I wish y'all safe. I am giving free rides to the polls if you need or know somebody that needs a ride to the poll. I'll definitely bring them from their home to the poll and back. So,
That's awesome. Thank
um, outside of that, any final comments? Thank y'all so much for being a part of the Roundtable Talk on your first Thursday. This is Christopher Jones. Trisha, you gonna say something?
Make sure you vote.
Perry?
Vote Beaumont. We got to get it done.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good night. Bless.
Can we cut this off without Tony?
I don't think we can.
It's just gonna keep us live forever.
Yeah, it's just gonna be live forever. I don't know.
Right.
Even if we leave, it'll still be
It's
going though,
gonna be a
right?
It'll
blank
just
screen.
right. It'll be a black screen.
It's a setup. He did this intentionally.
Super T, wake up, Super T.
Tony
Look, he probably be like, I was listening to you guys. This is a real
heard
good
every
show.
word.
Man, I will say we did have a really good show tonight. It was, and
We really did.
I appreciate, the truth coming out tonight. This was a much needed podcast for our public to know, especially when it
Right.
comes to what's pressing in the city right now, and that's the election. Um, so yeah, I definitely.
Good one, Terry.
Probably also detained in Facebook jail.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. He better. Somebody better help him. Somebody better help him.
No, man, this was great. I enjoyed it. It's I think our people will respond.
I hope so. Better yet, I know so.
Yeah.
I will say this may be one of the higher turnout elections that we have locally.
I believe that. Yeah,
I'm hoping.
especially
welcome,
because there
Christian
has
music.
been so much improvement. There's improvement on the improving, and that's significant. People see that.
I totally
Yeah.
agree. I totally agree. Especially, like I said, especially for those that have been, advocating for. Welcome back,
He woke up.
Pusha T.
You done with
We
the
know you had
tattoo
on that ones. Look, we know you had your onesie on, man. Don't come on here
Oh,
and
I
try
tell
that.
you, I kept hearing my phone boom, buzz, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute." Hey guys, great show, man. I appreciate you guys, and hopefully to have you back on next month on Thursday. On the first Thursday of each month, we thank everyone for joining us at Knowledge is Power Podcast Live, and also with the Thursday evening Roundtable Talk. Great
Indeed.
show. I enjoyed, and hope everyone else will enjoy. But catch us on Sundays as well with Father Knowledge is Power Podcast show as we go live with our special guests each Sunday. Perry, good to see you, great head.
Good, man. Glad to be here, man.
Yeah.
Got to come by and see you. You're not gonna sell me a car, but I'm gonna come by and talk to you.
We'll do that, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. All right. Hey guys, enjoy this. I'll tell you the truth. I was knocked
know.
out.
We
I
know.
know,
Terry's
man.
comment?
Shoot.
Terry says you was
I had a
looking over the
bad day
Texans
today.
draft.
That's that Terry Roy being messy. You talk about that, man.
I've studied enough on my draft, so I'm okay. I had a bad day today. I had a major allergy headache and sinus, and had the MRI done today, and I just had a long day.
Yeah,
you know?
no, man, and thank you so much for even allowing this to happen, because I know we really put it together.
Yeah,
at
you
the
did.
last
Last
minute.
minute. But you
Yeah.
know,
So thank you
no
so
problem.
much.
But you know, the Thursday night host, Chris Jones, was the Thursday night host. I hadn't heard from him. It took you to call me at the last minute.
Man.
And this man.
Now, but truth be told, now we talked Saturday, but I know you getting a little old, so you don't remember stuff quite so often. But we did talk.
Yeah, we did talk.
I was about to say, I do believe we mentioned this Saturday,
Yeah, we
which
did
was
talk.
past the first Thursday.
But this Thursday is his special night, and I never heard from him. hey, I tell you what, I drove through the South End today. I went back home through the South End, and it looked nice, man. It just keep us
Thank you.
from work.
It is.
Yes,
One
indeed
step
it
at a
does.
time. One step at
Yes,
a
indeed it
time.
does.
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed
That's
it
right.
does.
All right,
And I
guys.
and,
Yeah.
and with that being said, I definitely want to thank our parks department for doing I mean a hellified job on the entryway, and
Right.
it's more to come, y'all. It's more
Yeah.
to come. We're in the
Yeah.
process of waiting to see what our youth will be choosing for our playground to look like. So yeah, we're excited about it.
Great.
Thank you
Great.
for all the citizens who have participated in making that happen too.
Yes.
You
Yes.
guys are
Yes,
heroes.
indeed.
A
Yes,
lot of
indeed.
there's a lot of work been done behind the scene. I tell
Yes,
you.
indeed.
I tell
Yes,
you, a
indeed.
lot of
No,
work been
Yes,
done.
no,
indeed.
and we can't overlook the small things because it was important for those, and I consider myself one. I grew up a Charlton Pollard Bulldog fan to see Brutus on
On the
them
top of
signs.
Madison and
Yeah.
Irvin, I
Oh
totally agree.
Brutus. Oh Brutus. Oh
Yes,
Brutus.
indeed.
All
Yes,
right.
indeed.
Hey guys, hey, keep up the good work and let's continue to do what we're doing. And remember, people, vote.
Go vote
Kelly,
Saturday, 7 to
Vote.
vote
7.
Saturday. Pick them up, drive them to the polls, vote, do whatever you can. Thank you guys. God bless.